Not making enough money on Uber or Lyft? Why don't you try Fleek? Hey everyone, this is Kevin the Apptrepreneur, and one of the most frequent questions I get, or one of the from emails or comments or something is, I am not making enough money from Uber or Lyft. Who else can I drive for? And I usually start, going down the list of the usual suspects. There's DoorDash, there's Postmates, there's Cargo. Well, Cargo is more of an extension, actually. There's Saucy, there's Caviar. And that's when people say, oh, no, like, I like doing Uber and Lyft. I just don't I don't get paid enough. What can I do? Can I do Trip? Which, Trip is like, well, I've definitely got some mixed feelings about Trip. So that's an unproven market. But I appreciate another competitor coming in. But the reality is there's really not that many competitors. If you're in Texas, you can do Arcade City, I believe. And if you're in New York, you can do Juno and Get. And I know in Los Angeles, there's Zipcar. And in some places, there's Via. But the truth is, Uber and Lyft are the most global. But, of course, many companies are trying to break into that market, and one of them is known as Fleek. And according to PC Mag, if you're driving for a ride-hailing service like Uber and Lyft, you're not alone. Approximately 3 million people drive for Uber in 65 countries, completing 15 million trips per day, the company says. Most drivers are doing rideshare as a side hustle. For some, like former Boeing engineer Harry the Rideshare Guy Campbell. Oh, I didn't know Harry was a Boeing engineer. That's a need. Me and him... He needs to share. Harry, you need to tell me some stories about that. It's become their main source of income. However, ride revenue for Uber and Lyft drivers plummeted by 53% in 2017. Oh, yeah, and that was... it's actually been plummeting a lot more since 2012, but whatever. Well, more like 2016, I should say. Yeah, it's been a little while. According to research from JP Morgan Chase and Company Institute, at the time of this writing, neither Uber nor Lyft had announced their long-awaited IPOs. But it's safe to say few drivers will be cashing out when they do, as all are contractors, not early-stage startup employees with lucrative stock options. This is true. That's something Fleek, the latest to join the rideshare business, wants to tackle. So, okay, we're looking at a Juno thing again. A Juno-like thing. Oh boy, this is going to be fun. The service, which launched in June 2018, is running its first pilot trials in the Los Angeles area and, according to its site, is on a mission to smarten up the industry by encouraging everyone to upgrade their rideshare experience. For the pilot, only professional drivers, those with commercial driver's licenses, and registered vehicles with commercial-grade insurance can apply. So, hey, Peterson, here's some new video ideas for you. Although the idea is to open up the service to other drivers eventually, in return, Fleek provides a tech platform, 24/7 live support, and only takes a 10% cut compared to 25 to 50% at rival services depending on surge pricing. I love how they say depending on surge pricing. It's usually more than 30%. PC Mag spoke with founder and CEO Joel Kaiser via email to find out more. Here are edited and condensed excerpts of our conversation. Joel, first off, why Los Angeles? Well, I'm going to just answer that one because there's a lot of people, that's why. Los Angeles has a great tech community scene with unparalleled startup talent, plus it's one of the top rideshare markets in the US, so it just made perfect sense for Fleek to start there. Again, there's a lot of people. There's a lot of people. That's why so many services start in Los Angeles, New York City. Heck, that's one of the reasons there's that old saying, New York City, if you can make it here, you can make it anywhere. Because it's so hard to make it there. The team has an interesting background. Yours is an interactive design as founder-CEO of Seattle-based software development agency Kaj Labs. CTO Shazard Malik has a background in cybersecurity and comes from Hyundai, while your COO Thad Hoffmaster came from Pacific Aerospace. What made you all want to get into the rideshare space? Wow, that's actually a pretty impressive lineup. I'm not going to lie. The biggest issue in rideshare isn't being addressed by either Uber or Lyft, and that is unfair driver pay. Okay. Already, this guy's a fan of mine. He is addressing the biggest issue, unfair driver pay. I don't know why that is so taboo for these newspapers and the mainstream media to bring it up. Hey, your drivers aren't getting paid any money, and you're worth $120 billion. Is that not a problem? And they don't push them on that. So I'm glad someone's volunteering that information. Granted, every time there's a new company, they always bring that up because what do they need for the service to work? Drivers. Now, they also need passengers, of course, but if there's no drivers to pick up the passengers, and the passengers aren't customers then. So, you know, it's a PR ploy as well. But hey, I like it that that's one of the first things he said. Studies have been conducted by UCLA, MIT, the New York City Council, and many others like JP Morgan Chase that have clearly shown that drivers don't earn fair wages. I believe this is the biggest issue in rideshare, and Fleek intends to fix that. That would be very nice if they did. Since I run a software development agency, it made it much easier to build out the platform and venture into this space to try and solve this problem. I love that answer. Does it mean it's actually going to happen? I don't know, but I love that answer. Why Fleek as a brand? This is the CEO. He seems like a nice guy. According to the Urban Dictionary, Fleek is defined as something that's extremely good, attractive, or stylish, and it's exactly the kind of service we offer, and that's why. Who are the financial backers, and are any of them also investors in Uber, Lyft, etc.? We don't have outside investors at the moment. I am funding the project, but we will be closing our first round soon. So that's a little bit of a red flag. But at the same time, you got to start somewhere. And the fact that they are launching without investors and they're getting like PC Mag to talk about them, you know, you can't take that lightly either. It means someone is doing their homework to figure out how to get the word out. Why did you decide on only opening up to professional drivers? Won't that limit your revenue potential? How many commercial driver's license holders are there in the US? Quite a bit, actually, but for the pilot, we decided to open up to only professional drivers, but we plan on signing up non-professional drivers in the near future as well. Now, he didn't explicitly respond to this, but I think I know the reason why. Because you are competing with Uber and Lyft, and they are a trusted brand at this point. You go there and you trust them to pick you up and drop you off. And this is actually despite the thousands and hundreds of horror stories you hear on the media. So if you're going to get investors to invest in your company, one of the things you want to do is you want to make sure it's legitimate. You want to make sure it's professional. So I think investors would be way more willing to work with a company that only has licensed drivers. And that's kind of like a sales pitch for them. Like, we only have professional drivers on this platform. You know, you're not going to have people like me driving this just yet. But we eventually want to do that. But we're going to start out slow. We're going to make sure the platform works. We're going to make sure our reputation is sound. And then we will branch out and we will take more people in. I think that's the reason why. But that's my personal guess. It's not his words. So maybe there's another reason. And if he's watching this video, he can comment below. Or hey, he can even email me. I would be more than happy to talk with him. How stringent are your background checks? Uber has been plagued by this problem. CNN found that convicted felons slipped through their net recently. Oh yeah, happens all the time. Let's see what he says. We take safety very seriously at Fleek. In order to qualify to drive, every driver is required to undergo a background check as part of the application process. First, we look at the driving record to make sure that you are a capable, safe driver. Then we initiate a criminal background check for any criminal offenses or driving-related convictions. Our background checks enable us to ensure that we're meeting safety standards and protecting both the drivers and the riders. If the driver doesn't meet all of our safety standards, they are ineligible to drive for Fleek. Now, here's where he blew it a little. I think he blew it. He missed a prime opportunity. You know what he should have said? He should have said, we also fingerprint the drivers. I think he should have said that because that would have definitely endeared him to the eyes of many in the public, myself included. But, you know, that's the typical response you would expect. On your site, you say drivers must own a commercial-grade vehicle, sedan, SUV, or 10-passenger van 2010 or newer, with at least 5 total seatbelts, as well as 4 higher commercial passenger insurance. How will you enforce this? That's a dumb question. We will verify the driver has met all requirements to drive for Fleek before giving any rides. What did they expect him to say? Yeah, we're going to look. It's like, well, yeah, we're going to like look over the car. If they don't have the car, we're not going to let them drive. What did they think he was going to say? Which cities will you expand to next? At the moment, we're focusing on cities in Southern California. So if that's to be read correctly, I think, hey, maybe Orange County is next. And maybe they'll go to Sacramento. Who knows? So this is probably going to be a California thing for at least a little while. Finally, in Tesla's latest earnings call, Elon Musk brought up his plan for a Tesla fleet to power his vision of shared electric autonomy. How does Fleek view the future of self-driving cars? As of today, we don't plan on building our own autonomous fleet. When the time's right, we want to partner with autonomous car companies rather than build our own fleet of cars. Personally, I think Elon's plan of a Tesla fleet is the wrong approach, especially since Tesla hasn't been able to meet their car production goals year after year. So we can only imagine how a Tesla ride-hailing system would function. That's actually a very good response. I mean, here's the thing. Some people are always saying, oh, well, you see, they want to replace us too. Well, no, here's the thing. Here's the thing. As of today, like, when the time's right, that's basically saying, hey, if these things actually start working at some point, then yes, of course we would look into it. We'd be stupid not to, but we're not going to build our own cars. We can't do it. And that might be a key thing, because one of the things that Uber and Lyft lose a lot of money on is development in autonomous vehicles. And the technology just isn't there yet. So that might be attractive to an investor who's like, hey, if you can take an app and you can make it profitable and you're not wasting money on, you know, pet projects that may or may not come true, they might be onto something. Is there anything else? No, that's it. So let's go back up to the, that's a cute little logo. Although it kind of looks like the Lyft logo. I mean, the elf looks almost, yeah, I don't know if that's going to be a problem for them. But anyway, so there you have it. There's another ride-sharing company called Fleek coming along. And by the way, unlike Trip, this one is not charging you $200 a month to drive for them. So that might, well, also, here's another thing. So here's what the receipt looks like. So it looks like they will have regular cars at some point. Yeah, hey, an app. They're showing off an app. So they're a little bit closer to launching. I'm going to keep an eye on Fleek. I think I might even sign up for Fleek and kind of drive for them for a little bit. Just see if anything. Wow, the screen just got really orange all of a sudden on my end. I don't know if that's over you. Well, this is coming to an end anyway. So anyway, what do you folks think about this? Do you think Fleek is going to be the next rideshare revolution? Like, is that going to be the true one? Or do you think it's going to be another one of these companies that come and go? I would love to know. So comment below, like, favorite, share, subscribe. If you enjoy my videos, consider becoming a Patreon member. It's totally optional, of course, but even as little as $1 a month goes a long way to helping the channel run smoothly, and you get access to my Patreon exclusive blog. And as always, blame responsibly. Have a good one.